rookie fourth rounder out of LSU, Cade York, has this one teed up. And off we go in Madden Ultimate Team. From the 10. Oh, a good return up past the 30. He's at the 40. 10, 5, and he will score. Touchdown, Steelers. I know a lot of special teams coaches, they just want to keep it away from him because that's what he can do.
And others have egos that their players can't keep up with. And they say, challenge it, kick it to him. The way he runs as fast as he is, I wouldn't challenge him at all. I'd do everything possible to keep it away.
He is just a blur when he gets a full head of steam, and he got a full head of steam there. So let's try this again. After the kick return TD, here's yet another kickoff. And we will not see an attempt to match that return touchdown, as this will be a touchback and bring it out to the 25. So here are the Bears now for their opening drive. They'll be led out by the second-year man from The Ohio State University, Justin Fields. Fields. And his first look is incomplete.
Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it. Sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 16 yards is the pickup there on a first down for Chicago. Fields now to throw. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Jamal Adams. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he brings this one back. It's a pick six for a Steeler touchdown. An excellent play there, CD, on the pick six. And I think were they a nickel? Did they have an extra DB out there?
Yeah, Brandon, I think they were in standard nickel, not the Buffalo, as teams like to call it, meaning three safeties for big nickel. They just wanted to take away the quarterback's throwing lanes, and that's exactly what they did, and came through with a big-time pick six.
Extra point by Butker is on target, and it's now 14-0. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Chicago works their way back onto the field here for their second drive of the game. They've been outplayed early, no question. Down 14-0 already as they come up 1st and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
That felt like a trap because it looked to me like the opposing front was on that play from the get-go. They had everyone crashing the ball carrier before he even made the line, and they hold him to just a yard.
On 2nd and 9, Fields. They set up the screen to Peyton. And not much happening there. He's taken down, but a late penalty flag in the backfield. This looks like a roughing call. Well, Charles, sometimes we talk about the lengths officials sometimes go to protect star quarterbacks, but that was tough to argue against.
Yeah, and I'm sure that everyone's going to say, hey, we're going to administer the penalty the same way for all quarterbacks. But when it's a star...
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Thomas Davis charges in there hard and drops him for a loss of 12 from that outside linebacker position. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Give him a loss of 6 yards, and it brings up 3rd down. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front, so when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing.
And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going to go down. Draymond Jones able to get him down for a loss of 11, and it brings up 4th down. Not the start to this one that any quarterback would want or envision. Remember, he had the pick six, and here he ends up on his backside.
Yeah, and you have to wonder to yourself, okay, after throwing the pick six, did he get too careful with the football and not deliver downfield and take that sack? They've got to make sure that he's really into this game.
On is the punter man as he boots this one away. Taken right around the 44. A solid stiff arm. He takes a touchdown-saving tackle to bring him down as he goes 32 yards on the return. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. Prescott looks to throw on first. And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete.
I love those corners who can not only cover, but don't mind getting a little physical as well. How about the coverage on that play, knocking that pass away?
And down inside the 15 he goes. A gain of 10, good for a Steeler 1st down.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy's setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and put the defense back on its heels.
Now, quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete.
This is going to be the matchup to watch out on the perimeter, and it won't be the last time these two go at it. Both of them believe they are the superior. In this case, the win goes to the defense.
Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
You're down 2 touchdowns. You just know defensively you absolutely have to come up with a big play. That nearly was one right there.
Looked over at the sideline immediately after the drop and just saw the dejection. They felt it. They thought he had it. Unfortunately, couldn't come up with it. And they're going to drop him well shy of the 1st as he can only make it to the 11th. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. 2nd quarter action from Pittsburgh. It is the Steelers in control of the football. Butker's kick here is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So 3 points there, and they continue to build this 1st half lead.
Yeah, every little bit helps, and the more that you can put together drives and start controlling the tempo, controlling possession, finishing with points, the better off you're going to be.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Taken in at the 3. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the 2nd quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
We know, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
Ted Hendricks making his presence felt. These sacks now, they're starting to pile up, Charles, and that front 7 defensively, they've had their way with this offensive line.
And I think at this stage, we have to start thinking about different play calls. We've got to start helping this quarterback out because the entire game he's been under siege. I don't care what the down and distance, they've got to get the ball in his hands a lot quicker.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. Here comes the Bears punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. And taken at the 46. A nice work on the return as he gets about 15 yards back. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. So Pittsburgh retakes the field for their 2nd offensive possession. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it. Forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize. Like going to the county fair, you don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. Throwing on 2nd and 3. Prescott. He's got his possession receiver, Fred Biletnikoff. And they're going to get this down inside the 15. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about.
And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. Tevin Coleman taking it in for 14 yards out. And the Steelers continue to pull away here in this first half.
We know that the big guys won't get the credit, Brandon, but we also know that that touchdown belongs to them. Excellent job of clearing the way for their running back.
Extra point by Butker is on target, and a route is on here in this first half. Here's the Steelers kick team as they'll boot this one away. Fielded just outside the goal line. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive. And they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, and this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the line.
Fields hit and the ball is loose. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line.
That feels like an accumulation of the pressure we've seen all game. I mean, he's been on the turf a whole lot because of sacks. Eventually, something else happens as well, and this time there was a turnover.
And caught up to him. And he's going to be brought down at about the 16.
So many times in my career, I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 20...
And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. DK Metcalf, a 16-yard touchdown. And the Steelers will extend their lead in the final minute of the half. Extra point by Butker is on target, and a route is on here in this first half. The long touchdown pass gets him 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This will be fielded inside the 5. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. The Bears going to get one more possession in this first half. And the ball backed way up, so thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these two teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it.
That's complete to his running back, Peyton. Broke through some contact, but ultimately only able to get to his own 20. They hold him to only 2 there on the screen. It's second down.
Nice job by the defense figuring that play out and holding it to a short game, but I don't think the offense is going to be daunted. They actually accomplished their goal there. Now they've got them aware that they can throw a screen at them, maybe to slow the pass rush down a little bit, and they can throw it downfield.
So we've reached halftime here in what is quickly turning into quite a rout. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Taken in at the 3. And all deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy because you want to make sure that the catch is secured. A lot of teams do that. They have at least one guy. Okay, you're responsible for making sure he secures the catch. He's not always the one that makes the recovery, but he can always sound out the alarm. Hey, ball's on the ground. We've got to get it back.
Fields on first down. Oh, he dropped it. Hey, that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. A 2nd and 10 forthcoming here. Third quarter action in the Steel City of Pittsburgh, PA. Meanwhile, Fields' throw taken in by Miller. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be third and less than a yard. Now a handoff inside. It's Peyton. He is going nowhere as he is enveloped behind the line. No gain on the play there. Nice job defensively, and it likely forces a punt situation on fourth. Here comes the Bears punter now as he's on here to punt it away. Taking it about the 16. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Time for the Steelers offense now to get set for their first possession of half number 2. Well, it's hard to imagine the first half going any better for them, CD, and now here's they begin their first series of this. There he goes, left side. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Matt Breida, 64 yards. And the Steelers are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
I guess when you look back on it, it was just a matter of time until he popped a big one like that. And, you know, at halftime, you and I discussed it. They had done a nice job on him in the first half. But there were a couple of occasions where it felt like he might wiggle out of traffic and take it to the house. Finally here in the second half, that got done.
Extra point by Butker is on target, and the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. Here's the Steelers kick team as they'll boot this one away. This one fielded at the 5. And he will be brought out here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. The Chicago offense set to get started. Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
I see a shake of the head as he gets up, and you've got to imagine he's thinking, guys, you got to help me out. He's hoping his team can read his thoughts because he definitely needs some assistance.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Jamal Adams. And he brings this one back. It's a pick 6 for a Steeler touchdown. Well, I mean, you get it. They're trying to make something happen here in this third quarter, CD, but I don't think a pick 6 is exactly what they had in mind.
No, not at all, because this offense, they've been stuck all game long. Haven't dented the scoreboard yet, and they're kind of forced to take a few chances here, and that one, it backfired in a big way.
Butker now to add the extra point. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. Fielded just outside the goal line. And they'll be backed up to start this drive as he's taken down right around the 15. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover,
Fields hit and the ball is loose. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And he takes it back to the house. A fumble recovery for a Steelers score. Second time he's lost a fumble. This one hurts more. It's returned for 6.
He's been under a lot of duress, hasn't he? pressured, hurried, harassed the whole game.
Well, the offensive line not giving him a lot of help.
Not a lot of help, but the bottom line, he's got to take care of the football.
Extra point by Butker is on target, and the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. And you can bet they're preaching two hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. Taken in at the 3. And some good special teams coverage as they bring him down just outside of the 15. The Chicago offense set to get started. It's a game that they would rather probably forget about, at least to this point, Charles. And one reason is turnovers. A turnover on the last drive. They had the issue in the first half as well, and that's really, unfortunately for them, helped to put this game out of reach.
And you know they won't admit it to themselves, but we know that winning the game is pretty much out of the picture now. So their bottom line is, how do they play a clean game the rest of this one, right? Take care of the football, no more turnovers, and see how that works.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
At this point in the game, in the situation they're in, partner, these incompletions that we're seeing, they need to turn into positive snaps, and soon.
Throwing on third down, Fields. And that is incomplete.
Obviously searching for the first touchdown this game, partner. That quick 3 and out, that's not going to achieve that at all. Give victory to the secondary there. They brought out tight coverage on that third down snap.
Here comes the Bears punter now, standing just outside his own goal line. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. Returnable here from the 38. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And they will take over 1st and 10. Prescott on first down. This one into the hands of Metcalf. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the third quarter of action. Back now in Pittsburgh. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. On first down, here's Breida. And he'll be marked down at the 26 with a gain of 7.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
On 3rd and 1, here's Prescott. Open man is Metcalf. He's got it. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. A little surprise pays off on 3rd and 1. Pass instead of run. Gets him 15 yards. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
I like the calmness of how he played the ball here. No panic in his eyes as that throw arrived. Tracked it from the moment it left the quarterback's hand, and that's just where he needed to be.
And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. Butker on for the PAT. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So the drive there took 6 plays. And Tevin Coleman polished it off with a touchdown run. Here's the Steelers' kick team as they'll boot this one away. And not willing to risk another fumble, he'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. The Bears offense now getting ready to take over. Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage because...
Oh, Fields is intercepted for a 3rd time. Picked off by Jamal Adams. And he brings this one back. It's a pick 6 for a Steeler touchdown. Well, this one was already ugly, and now it's just kind of becoming a feast on the defensive side of the football.
Yeah, partner, this is a unit that knows they've got this game in the bag with this huge lead. And it's going to drive their coaches crazy because they're telling them play it straight, do all the right things. But these guys are going to be freewheeling now. All of them are going to take chances. And that one pays off with an INT and a return for 6.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. Well, I hate to say it, but at this point, I don't really know that they're playing to win with this deficit in the fourth quarter. They're just trying to erase that 0 on the scoreboard, Charles, and get some type of momentum to carry into the film session tomorrow.
If you get any type of points on the board, it'll count as a moral victory, although no one will talk about that in the post-game press conference. That's not something you mention in the NFL. And this loss, it already stings and will for a while, but everyone on that offense knows it'll sting a lot worse if they don't put some points up on the board.
And he held on to it too long. A coverage sack. Down he goes. The Stork, Hall of Famer Ted Hendricks, getting him once again his 3rd sack of the afternoon.
We all know he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league, but definitely not today. His team trailing by multiple touchdowns, and a late sack, just a parting gift from the defense for him to take back to the locker room with him.
Steps away to his left, and his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. And the Steelers are going to take possession of the football. Yet another mistake after the interception there. And, gosh, you look up at the scoreboard, they just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys. But being down this big, you also take even more chances. And in this situation, that hasn't paid off for them at all.
On the other sideline, jubilation and laughter. 87 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
That's a nice run right there, able to get to the outside. And so many times defenses say, okay, we've got you hemmed in. But if you're running the football, at least you know where everyone is coming from. You don't have to worry about the backside at all. That allows you to run with a little bit more confidence as you traverse down the field.
A loss of 2 there, 2nd down. For the winning team here, Charles, that's about as big and clean of a win as you could hope for in the National Football League. No turnovers. Meanwhile, you forced turnovers. You didn't allow any points, and you put up a bunch of points. What an effort.
And, Brandon, I just have to ask you, that's all the